And we pronounce it Brianne, right?
Yes.
Good. Oh, here we go.
Foods.com, certified transmission, Sholdit, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Two Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments. Welcome to Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that will leave you feeling great about yourself, Omaha's heroes, and Omaha, where we live, work, and play. So park yourself on the bench and have fun.
Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, the show that you listen to and watch each and every week. Why? Because it gives you that feel-good feeling. About what? About yourself, about the city of Omaha, and about some terrific guests who have done some amazing things in their life. And you'll find out in a moment why I use the word amazing. I do it intentionally. As you know, during the show, we always have 3 motivational vignettes. We also have a terrific little information piece about a marvelous nonprofit organization here in Omaha. And of course, we have the guests. Let me introduce you to the guests because I want to tease you as to what you will hear and what you will see. So first, I would like to invite Jordan Summer and say welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
She has formed an organization called Amazing Junior. It's fantastic. You'll learn more about it. And here we have the winner of 2015. And it is so great to have you here, Marissa. Just love having you. And Brianne, you are the state director for this marvelous organization. So hang on to your hats. You're going to learn something very, very soon that's going to inspire you. You know what? If you're like me, you'll probably get a tear or 2. So here we go. Let's get started. Let's assume for a moment that you are going to a store. You know those posters that people have? Those wonderful motivational posters? You know the ones I'm talking about? The ones that say, believe, and be yourself, rise to every occasion. Well, you know what? I want to start a different type of a store. I would like everybody to go out and buy demotivational posters. That's right, the ones that say, I'm a failure. The ones that say, I will never succeed. The ones that say, I've tried and it just didn't work for me. The ones that say, I'm afraid of change. The ones that say, I will never grow up. The ones that say, I can't do it. I want each and every one of us to fill our homes, fill our offices with these demotivational posters. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, why is he saying this? Well, here's the answer. You know as well as I do that you will never, ever go out and buy these demotivational posters. But here's the question. How often do you say these to yourself? How often do you demotivate yourself by coming up with these common excuses? All too often. And they prevent you from doing what you're entitled to do in life. So if you're not going to buy a demotivational poster, which I'm sure you won't, then from now on, never, ever use these or those statements in anything that you do. Just keep it positive. Just keep it on believing. You know what'll happen? You'll grow and you will succeed. Now, I want you to imagine for a moment that you are opening up the refrigerator door. And when you get to that door, here's what you will find. You will find half a banana. Now, by the way, it was cut and sliced perfectly, and the peel is still on. So when you visualize this half a banana, what is the first thing that's going to be going through your mind? You have 2 choices. Choice number 1, half the banana is already eaten. Or choice number 2, I've got half of the banana left to eat. The way you answered that question gives you a little bit of insight as to how you think in life. Because if you're already thinking of the past, things that happened, then you're right now very present and very stagnant. But if you're saying to yourself, hey, here's an opportunity to finish the rest of the banana, that means you look at life as a future. You look at life very optimistically. And that's what you should always be doing. You've heard me say before about the glass and whether it's half empty or half full. The real answer to that one is, of course, neither. That means whoever did something, either emptied it or filled it, just didn't finish their job. But the banana is so important. So from now on, when you see something, look at the potential, look at the opportunities, and then begin to say to yourself, there's so much more left for me to do. It is this time during the show that we always talk about a wonderful nonprofit organization. And today we're going to be talking about Treadstone Activity. Listen carefully. Treadstone Activity and Learning Center's main objective is to create a small environment where students utilizing standard and alternative teaching methods can associate and participate in educational activities that build strong, productive, and conscientious individuals. Treadstone Activity and Learning Center encourages and supports academic advancement and curriculum support for all those enrolled. In addition, services are provided to homeschooled and ADHD students. Mentoring gives a child a chance to grow in all areas of life, a sense of belonging, development of long-term relationships, all because of having a connection with positive role models. Life skills teach children about the realities of life and encourage open communication between children, parents, siblings, and adult authorities. Treadstone's program focuses on 4 areas: friendship, school and peers, money matters, and secular works. For more information about Treadstone Activity and Learning Center, be sure to visit treadstonealc.com. That's treadstonealc.com. And now we have the tremendous opportunity to meet people who do amazing things. And you've heard me use that word because there is such a thing called amazing pageant. And now you're going to learn about it. But first I've got to ask you a question. What were you doing at age 13? Were you playing around? Were you watching TV? Were you listening to music? What were you doing? Well, you're going to meet an individual who at age 13 started with a life quest that has in fact impacted hundreds, if not thousands of people. If you are now ready to meet some marvelous individuals, so am I. So here we go. I'm going to introduce you right now to Marissa Joy Horstman, who is the Miss Nebraska Amazing, and that you won in 2015. And just by looking at your smile, I can see why. And I love that tiara, and I love what you're wearing, and I bet you feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sure it does, and I'm thrilled for you. So how did we get to this pageant? We got to this pageant because of somebody's dream. Jordan Summers, who is the CEO and founder of the amazing pageant. She's going to tell you a lot more about it in a minute. I just can't wait to talk to you. Fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
And Brianne, of course, Brianne Cox, who is the statewide director. So let's begin. So what were you doing at age 13?
Well, I think that I just had this entrepreneurial itch that I had to scratch. When I was 13 years old, I volunteered with the Special Olympics. I also did pageants in my free time, and it was always such a fun experience to meet new friends. Also, I can look back now and I see that I gained skills in interviewing and public speaking, a lot of social and communication
At age
skills.
13?
Yeah, definitely.
Most people are afraid to do that. You began to do it. That's remarkable in itself.
It's good to start kids early with public speaking
Sure.
for certain, and interviewing.
Right.
So I enjoyed both of those experiences, pageants and volunteering with the Special Olympics. I just met some amazing women, amazing female athletes at the Special Olympics. So I just combined those 2 passions together to create the Miss Amazing pageant, which is a pageant for girls and women with disabilities. And we held the first event in 2007. I was 13 years old, and now it's a nationwide nonprofit organization.
Now, wait a minute. Most adults can't do what you do. And at age 13, you produced, you coordinated on your own. I'm sure you had some help, but on your own, this whole thing.
I think passion gives legs to so many things, you know? So I definitely have had a huge amount of support, though, from my mom, from tons of volunteers from the very beginning, and now the organization is completely volunteer run. So we have volunteers across the country that are supporting us.
And that started here in Omaha, Nebraska.
started here in
Now,
Omaha.
is it just limited to Omaha now after all these years?
No, we're in almost 30 states, and we're holding our 3rd annual national event in Los Angeles this July. So the evolution of this organization has been phenomenal, and it's something that's so much bigger than me at this point. But
And by the way, when you look at this individual, she hasn't even graduated college yet. We can't even call her, you're over 21?
I'm 21.
All right, she's 21, but she
Just
hasn't even graduated college yet, and look at what she has done in her lifetime. It's amazing and how much she's impacted them. So where do you get the funding for this?
Well, Mostly from private donors. I mean, people who are so passionate about our mission, but also through the events themselves. There's ticket sales that we have, and then we sell merchandise. There's a lot of different various for-profit arms that we have as part of the organization, and we look forward to bringing on some corporate sponsors in the future and receiving some more grants too. There's much room for growth.
Now I got to ask you something. Does she sound like a 21-year-old? Because in reality, anybody, when you have the passion, when you have the dream, when you know that you are helping people, anybody, including you, can duplicate exactly what she is talking about. It's just so a marvelous feeling. So when in July you're going to have this Los Angeles national pageant,
Yeah.
and how many people? Obviously there are 30 contestants. And what is the goal of that particular event?
Actually, we have multiple different age divisions in each state, so there's going to be around 100 different participants coming into LA to take part of this global celebration of abilities, and that's really what we're out to do, is celebrate the things that people can do, because as you were talking in your motivational vignette, is having that kind of focus on what you can do is most productive. And also what's interesting is the fact that we've come full circle, and now we're holding our national event in LA in conjunction with the Special Olympics World Games. So what I was originally inspired by is now a partner of Miss Amazing.
Okay, so at 21 you've done it all. So by the time you're 31, what's on your radar screen?
Oh gosh. I think that in 10 years, Miss Amazing has the potential to go international. We just have to look at what are the needs in different countries for both women and people with disabilities, and what kind of image does pageantry have in different countries, and really just move with that. But that's definitely a possibility within the next 10 years.
Now you said earlier everything is done by volunteers.
Yes.
So I want to introduce Brianne to everyone, who's the volunteer for Nebraska, and you head up the Nebraska chapter of the Miss Amazing pageant.
Yes, I do. I have currently been in this position as director for Nebraska for 2 years now. This is my second year, but I've been with Miss Amazing now for about 5 years, starting as a volunteer, onto staff, and then now director.
Now you also haven't graduated college yet.
I haven't, no.
This is amazing. I hope you get the same feeling I do. Here are people who believe in something, are passionate in something. They take their dreams and make it reality. But come on, there are so many other things you can do. You could work for money. What is it that draws you to this organization? What attracted you to this person's vision?
I love working with individuals with special needs. My major actually is elementary education with inclusive practices, which is kind of a branch off of special education. And I love the joy that individuals bring to life, and just how happy they are, and how much we are able with this organization to really celebrate them and have an event just for them where they get to build those friendships and have something to look forward to every year.
I hope you, the viewer, see what I see. When they talk about what they do you see that smile? Do you see that naturalness? Do you see that connection? If in our lives we don't have a purpose, and we don't accomplish what we're capable of accomplishing, and we don't talk about our aspirations, if we don't talk about our goals and dreams with that same type of emotion, we have great opportunities in front of each and every one of us. Because all we need to do is just find one thing that would give us the same smile and the same passion. So when was the Nebraska pageant?
It was over Labor Day weekend in August this past year.
And how many contestants did we have?
We had around 65 with the holiday weekend. We were very happy with our participation that we had, but we're looking into next year already and going for a bigger venue because we've outgrown our venue. And so we're really hoping to reach even more of Omaha and then just Nebraska as a whole.
Excellent. Now, by the way, who won last year?
This lovely lady sitting right next to me, she is one of our wonderful women that won. Marissa.
Well, first of all, Marissa, congratulations.
Thank you.
Why did you enter this contest to begin with? What made you enter it?
One of my friends told me about it, and they helped me to get right through it.
So let me see if I understand this right. A friend said, hey, go enter a pageant. So here is Marissa saying, okay, I have no fear. I can do that. People are going to help and support me. That's a marvelous example, because how often in your life has a friend come over to you and say, hey, you know what, I think you should do this. And what do you, oh, not me. I've never done this before. Me being in a pageant? What, are you kidding me? Marissa gives us such inspiration that when somebody says, hey, you know, you've got a certain skill, there is something out there for you, take advice from Marissa and say, you know what, darn right I'm gonna do it, why not? So when you are on stage, what did you like doing on stage?
Doing a lot of talents.
Talents, and what you were singing there, right?
Yeah.
And now, what did you wear for clothing? I mean, was it jeans? Was it a T-shirt?
We actually wearing a dress.
A dress, a nice dress. And who helped you pick out the dress?
My mom helped me all the time.
I see. And now, does she help you pick out with some other things too, or just a dress?
She also helps me with my makeup and my jewelry. And sometimes somebody helps me put my hair up.
Oh, you must have looked fantastic. You must have walked out on that stage and strutted your stuff and say, hey, look at me. That's fantastic. Now, I just have a question. Between me and you,
Okay.
your mom probably won't hear the answer. Does she have good taste in jewelry and dresses?
That's really hard to say, but sometimes, yes, she does have good taste.
And sometimes no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say it. She won't. No, don't worry about it. So, and I'm gonna take a guess. When she does not have good taste, that's probably because she picked something out that you don't like. So when she does that, do you wear it anyway, or do you say, no, Mom, I don't like that?
Well,
Or you try and be diplomatic and say, you know what, thanks for picking it out for me?
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it, because she'll always do it that way. So now you're going to go to the nationals.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
It feels good
Really? I can tell. Why?
because I'm ready for it and I know I've got it to do and I can do it right away.
Now, it's bringing a tear to my eye, because how many of us have said, I can do it, I know how to do it, hey, if you want to send me to nationals, go right ahead. Most of us would chicken out. Most of us would go back into our beds, we would crumble up like little babies, and we say, no, stay away from me, this is not for me. This is such a remarkable story. Now, Marissa, when you won, how did you feel?
I feel amazing.
Yeah, and that's probably why they call it the Miss Amazing pageant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you probably had that great big smile on. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So if you have a friend, would you advise your friend to enter the Miss Amazing pageant?
Yeah,
Why?
because
It makes them feel good?
it makes them feels really good. It expresses those feelings out.
Yes, it brings their feeling out. Now, what do you like about performing on stage? I think you mentioned to me earlier, one of the things you like is you get to be yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be yourself and don't be somebody that you're not becoming because you don't want to be a bad person. Because if you're all bad, then something bad might happen to you.
Sure,
Because you don't want to get yourself in trouble by some principal or.
Because you're trying to be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
Now, that works great for the stage, but what happens when you're off stage? Can you be anybody you want?
No.
No. You really got to stick to yourself.
Yes.
And you stick to yourself because you have that pride. You have that confidence. So, question for you, and that is as follows. When you see somebody wearing a style, when you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to mimic this particular rock star, I'm going to mimic this particular person who has peer pressure that's not good for me, how often do you succumb to that type of pressure? Because what we've just learned from Marissa is so important for each and every one of our lives. And that is, we need to be ourselves. We need to be proud of ourselves. We need to get up there on the stage and give people that wonderful smile of confidence. Because I can guess that as you're watching this, many of us are saying, I wish I was like Marissa. Many of us are probably saying to ourselves, I absolutely wish that I was like Brianna. We're probably saying to ourselves, I actually wish I was Jordan, who has taken a dream, who has taken a goal, and who's going to bring it internationally. Well, guess what? You don't have to wish because these three people have just given us some beautiful insights on how to do it. So I want to go back to you for a moment. When you dreamt this up at age 13, did you ever think it would be as big as it is today?
Oh, never, never. Actually, when I was applying for college, when I was just looking around at colleges, I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. Wanted to be in your seat, actually.
Okay. And you will, I know that.
Thanks. And really, the Miss Amazing pageant completely took off my senior year of high school / freshman year of college. So that just is proof right there that I didn't see the expansion coming whatsoever. But I'm 21 years old, and I know what I want to do for most of my life. It's just such a huge blessing, and there's people who, you know, have made it to 40 or 50 that still don't
Sure.
know what they want to do. So I'm blessed that it's come so early.
And you're always going to maintain that focus, and you're always going to keep your eye on that goal, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Brianne, how about yourself? What is it that you want to see yourself doing in the future?
I would love to see Nebraska just grow as a whole, but then also I volunteer in different states and just seeing all of us kind of come together. I'm an elementary teacher. Next year I will be, but I kind of want to see that kind of branch out, having my teacher abilities coming into that state event and just really bringing it to be so much more than it already is.
And it's got to bring a great smile to your face to see Marissa here and to see all the other contestants just do something absolutely heartwarming and absolutely with a wonderful feeling. So here's a question for you. You're getting ready for the July pageant coming up. Now, are you going to practice for that? Are you going to be doing something different? What do you see yourself doing in that pageant?
I might do something like different.
Okay. So you sang, if I remember correctly, you sang in this pageant, and you also do floor exercises, calisthenics. You do tumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that one of the things that you're going to be doing? Maybe.
I was thinking about it, but I don't know if I should or not.
Okay. You do. You know what? Anything that you do, I know. So does everybody else. That you will be very successful. And I know that you're going to go up there on that stage and you're going to say, "Hi, my name is Marissa, and I'm here from Nebraska, and I'm here to be the winner of a National Miss Amazing contest." And you know what? If you don't win, you're still an amazing individual, even if you don't win, because you have touched our hearts, you've touched our lives, and you've touched our minds. And I want to thank you for that. Brianna, if there was one thing that you want everybody to remember from this little discussion about either yourself or about Miss Amazing pageant, what would that be?
That this organization was really put in place to celebrate the abilities of girls and women with disabilities, and to really break that bridge that has been created through society and bring us all together to really celebrate who they are and everything that they can do and how amazing these women are.
Fantastic. And what would you like people to remember?
I would like people to remember that everyone deserves the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. So this organization is doing just that and providing that platform to amplify the voices of girls and women with disabilities, which have so much to tell.
And Marissa, what would you like everybody to remember? I know what I want to remember, but I want to see what you say. What would you like everybody to remember from the time we just spent together? That's a hard answer. I know, because
Yeah.
there's so many different things, but I'll tell you what I want to remember from this. Just one thing, and that's you. It's the only thing no offense, gals,
okay.
but that's the only thing I want to remember, because you are an amazing individual. You wear that tiara, you wear that sash, if that's what it's called, I pronounced it correct? You wear that sash with such pride and such admiration, because you have touched each and every one of us. And I want to thank you so much for doing that. Brianne, thank you so much for organizing this entire Nebraska and volunteering and giving it everything that you have. And of course, my 13-year-old, now 21, not even a college graduate, for doing everything that you have done. I think the pageant has been named after you. Because since you're not married, we can still call you Miss Amazing. Thank you. So we all thank you for that. I think what they have accomplished is absolutely remarkable and absolutely terrific. And you know, one of the things that we learned here, especially from the people that organize it, is about thinking out of the box. But we're going to shatter what thinking out of the box really means. Because I thought about this the other day. And how do you think out of the box? Well, the first question you have to ask yourself is, how did you get in the box in the first place? I mean, it's remarkable. We all say, oh, I'm an out-of-the-box thinker, I got to think out of the box. But how'd you get there in the first place? Well, you only got two choices. One, you're there, and you built the box around you. Or two, you found an empty box, and you put yourself in it. Well, get out of it. From now on, never crawl into a box, and from now on, never put yourself into a box, and therefore you don't have to worry about becoming an out-of-the-box thinker. It's about as simple as that. So let's go ahead and review everything that you saw today on today's show. First thing we talked about was demotivational posters. You don't go out and buy them, so obviously don't go out and say anything. And the next time that you see a banana, remember, say to yourself, it's half eaten. Pardon me, not half eaten. I made a mistake. There's half to be eaten more. And that's the way I want you to look at life. You've got the opportunity to go ahead and just get much, much more out of life. And then, of course, what are you going to do about that box? It's non-existent. You're not going to crawl into it, and you're not going to build it around yourself. And when that happens, what are the results? Just like these three amazing people. Nothing, absolutely nothing, stops them from what they want to accomplish, because they are true examples of vision, out-of-the-box thinking, focus, no matter what age, by the way. 13 years old, unbelievable. No matter what age you are, 13, 21, 50, 60, or 70, when you get that desire, when you get that vision, when you get what you really want to obtain out of life, just keep it going and get that marvelous support system. And by the way, we've got a terrific show coming up again next week, because this whole theme continues. Next week, we're going to have Emily Lenzer, who's going to be with us, and she has won the Nebraska Junior Teen competition. And we also have a 7-year-old, the youngest person who's been on the show, and that's Lennon Bradley, who's Nebraska Junior Princess. So once again, we want to thank everybody for what you do. Marissa, again, thank you so much. And where are you going to be again next week? Right here on your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg, to give you that great feeling. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Your Omaha High with Andy Greenberg was sponsored by Best Buy Signs, creator of the Omaha Parks Program, OmahaFastFoods.com, Certified Transmission, Sholdit, Rotella's Italian Bakery, La Peeps Restaurant, Two Men and a Truck, Shout Weekly, Critter Control, Russ Kaplan Investments.